My wife just admitted to cheating on me with her ex-BF 11 years ago during our first month together. Considering divorce. Hey Reddit. I'm going to talk to friends and family, but I wanted to see if I could get some advice here too. I'm in a bit of shock here. I just found out and I haven't really had time to process it. But I'm angry and considering divorce. Maybe I need to cool off and think with a level head, but I'm super upset about the whole thing. Hoping to get some perspective and opinions on my situation. We met in school when I was 21 and she was 23. She had a boyfriend she'd been with for almost 6 years, and he was kind of a douche. We became good friends, study buddies, as we were in a few of the same classes. I was always very attracted to her, but never made a move. She had a boyfriend, and I respected their relationship even though she would complain to me about him that he belittled her. Compared her to other women. Made comments about her weight. etc. One weekend. She texted me to let me know her boyfriend dumped her because he wanted to be with other women. And she wasn't his type anymore. She was heartbroken. And I swooped in to console her. Over the course of a few weeks, we started hanging out more. Dating. And eventually started hooking up. I was totally a rebound for her. But I was okay with it. Almost exactly a month after she got dumped, I asked her to be my girlfriend and date exclusively. A bit premature for a girl dealing with the loss of a 6-year relationship. Probably. Well, definitely. In hindsight, it was way too soon, but I had fallen for her and wanted her to be my girl. She agreed. Even though in retrospect there's no way she was emotionally ready for a new relationship. She hadn't even formally moved out of her ex's house yet. Fast forward to a month of us being exclusive. We had planned a date night, but she ghosted me that day and didn't return my calls until way later in the evening. She said she had lost her phone and was sorry. etc. I believed her. Well, last night, we started talking about affairs and cheating, and I brought up the beginning of our relationship. I asked her about that night specifically. As I started to question it more and more over the years, but never said anything even though it stood out to me as very suspicious. She broke down and admitted that she cheated on me that night with her ex. Apparently, he called her and asked to see her at the house she had just moved out 3 days prior. She agreed. They met up. And he love-bombed her with apologies. Saying dumping her was the biggest mistake of his life. Would do anything to have her back. etc. She says he kissed her. It led to awkward ex. And afterwards she left and decided she was done. Didn't want anything to do with him. And was committed to only me from that point forward. Her reasoning for the cheating was that when he started saying he made a mistake, and would do anything to have her back. She got very confused and thought she may have been throwing away 6 years with this guy she once loved. She said she was in a vulnerable state and didn't really know what she wanted, but after that night she realized she would rather see where things went with me and decided to cut him out and commit to a relationship with me. I can verify this is true because he called her a few times. When I was around the following week, I remember she answered and said she was with me and not to call her. He eventually stopped contacting her, and mutual friends let us know he moved back to his parents' house in another state shortly after. So yeah. This sucks. On one hand, I'm almost empathetic. Seeing as she must have been in a wildly confused state being a few weeks out of a 6-year relationship with the guy she cheated on me with. And it wasn't exactly a clean break. But on the other hand, I'm livid that she never told me. And that she even did it in the first place. I feel super disrespected. We've been together now for 11 years. We're married. Have 3 children. And a whole life together. I'm considering speaking with a divorce attorney this morning, but I'm wondering if I'll regret leaving her and splitting up my family for a mistake she made in a confused state 1 month into us being exclusive with her recent ex. I pressed her on any other times and she swears that it was just the one time. There really aren't any other times in our past that stand out as suspicious. So I'm inclined to believe her. We've always had a very healthy relationship minus the lying by omission, I guess after the first month of ex-boyfriend drama. Too long didn't read wife cheated on me shortly after we became exclusive with her recent ex of 6 years. She claims she was confused, but after her mistake she cut him out of her life and never looked back. Here we are 11 years later with a life and family, and I'm wondering if divorce is appropriate or if we just need to sort this out and try to move on. Give yourself a month before you make any lasting decisions. I think it is very important that you don't jump the gun while your emotions are still raw and you aren't thinking very clearly. For me personally, I could forgive this considering the circumstances because it is somewhat understandable. However, I won't judge you for a fool if you can't forgive her either. But give yourself some more time before you decide. And go to therapy. If you can't unpack your shit, then get a professional to help. Normally I am very against cheating, but given the circumstances I would probably forgive her if I were you. You got together after only 1 month of her breakup. I can understand that she wasn't over her ex of 6 years, and may have thought she was making a mistake by leaving him. That doesn't justify cheating. But she does seem very remorseful. I don't think it's worth to get a divorce for something that happened 11 years ago when you were barely dating for 1 month. Seems pretty extreme. I think this is one of the few situations when I would say, it doesn't need to end the relationship. Of course you have the last said. But it seems this, unlike all the other cheating stories, seems to be a mistake. Done by a vulnerable person. Your relationship was very new. She hadn't ended grieving her last relationship, so she did something terrible, but in my opinion in this case, forgivable. If your relationship has been good aside from that moment, and you think there wasn't any other infidelity, I think you could work through this. Of course she has to put a lot of work into getting your trust back. And maybe you end up realizing you can't forgive her. But I think it's worth the shot. Second story. I 26 female found out my now husband 27 male used a hidden recording device while we were casually dating. Hi Reddit. Posting this to a throwaway account to protect the privacy of those involved. I've been married to my husband for 2 years now. And we dated for 2 years before getting married. Before dating, we started out as casual FWBs. Both seeing other people and too busy with work to try anything serious. Fast forward to today. When I stumbled upon a hidden spy camera in his Amazon purchase history. Now that we're married, we share an Amazon account. A hidden spy camera that sat on his dresser next to his bed for the duration of our FWB relationship. I did some research on the recording device and learned it auto-uploaded to a phone app. Before confronting him about it, I checked to see if he still had the app on his phone. He did. With several explicit videos saved of myself and other women. When I brought it up with him, he came clean immediately and was extremely apologetic. Saying that he threw out the camera and forgot all about the app once we started dating. Saying he never meant to hurt me. He never meant for me to find out. I told him that I was beyond disgusted that he had unknowingly violated me and other women. And while he acknowledged that he shouldn't have done it, he couldn't really understand why I was so upset. He continues to repeat that he's sorry, but hasn't made any major effort to sincerely apologize or prove that I can still trust him. Is this something we can move past as a couple? I genuinely want to believe that he is a different person now than he was back then, but I'm scared that anyone with the ability to do something like this will never change. When I found out, my immediate reaction was to leave the relationship. But I'm a master's student and at the moment financially dependent on him, making a complete break off difficult. Any advice on how to approach the relationship as well as how to work on my own healing would be greatly appreciated. Whether or not you can move past it is up to the two of you. He has to earn your trust, and you have to decide if you want to allow yourself to trust him again. He recorded you and other women without your consent. Not only is that unethical and immoral, it might be illegal depending on where you live. If it is illegal, then he committed criminal acts against you and other women. Something doesn't add up though. If you dated for 2 years and then married for 2 years, he recorded you over 4 years ago. Has he had the same phone for 4+ years? If not, then he downloaded the app again. Maybe it auto-downloaded and transferred the videos to his new phone. Or the videos are in cloud storage and he logged back into the app when he got a new phone. Even if it is the same phone, it seems highly unlikely he completely forgot about how he recorded multiple women without their consent and the tools he used to do that. Yikes. OP. That's a pretty serious breach of trust. Combined with your statement that he's not really able to understand why you're so upset. Nor has he made any attempt to rebuild your trust. I am not sure they'd be coming back from that. For me, to me, the most important thing is that I can trust my partner. Trust him to fully disclose things to me. Trust him to prioritize our relationship. I'd have a real hard time moving forward in a relationship with somebody who clearly had no issues prioritizing their own selfish desires above that relationship. Frankly, What he was doing was illegal. I don't know that I could stay with somebody who was apparently cool with violating both my privacy and the law for material to pull his junk to. Especially if that person couldn't seem to understand exactly why and how that's wrong. Third story. I 19 female am currently dating my partner 20 male. I met him my junior year of high school and started dating my senior year of high school. He tried super hard to get with me. While we were talking even months in the relationship, I would disrespect him a lot. No, I never cheated on him, be rude, because I was having a lot of problems of my own. I know he did not deserve that I apologize all the time for my behavior, feel so bad looking back at it. He was always so patient with me and treated me so well regardless. Our relationship got super great around 3 months, and I loved everything about it. I started falling for him super hard and loved being in love. We would have sex almost every day. We had agreed to stop watching adult videos. About 6 months into the relationship, he left to work at a different state. We started doing long distance. It became super hard and we argued a lot. We would only see each other like every other month. But when we would see each other, it was amazing and I would love it so much. The relationship was like that for a year. The last month of his year-long work trip, I had visited him for his birthday. One of those days I decided to snoop around his Apple Watch. He'd never given me a reason to do anything like that. But I had a good feeling to do so for a couple of months. I looked at his Apple Watch messages and found text messages between him and ex-workers. He would just ask for their menu, what they offered, sometimes pictures of them. I was crushed, of course. When I confronted him about it, he swore he had not met up with any of them, that he was doing this because he had an adult videos addiction that he was hiding from me. I believed he didn't meet up with them because in the messages there was no signs of that. But the adult videos addiction excuse sounded like BS to me. I know he just wanted to cheat on me. However, I was willing to forgive this. A week or so later he admitted to meeting up with one ex-worker and getting a handjob from her. I feel so betrayed and I truly don't know what to do. We are still together. But we both know I have not forgiven him. I do not know what to do. He has always treated me so well. He has never wronged me. Never disrespected me. Until now. He swears he would never do it again. I want to leave him. But when I am with him, I want to stay with him no matter what. I've never loved anyone like I've loved him. I am just having such a hard time. I am afraid to start over with someone else, get cheated on again. Part of me believes he deserves a second chance. Part of me is telling me to run. What do you think? What would you do in my situation? Coming from a 21-year-old that just left a 6-year relationship last month after my ex got a girl pregnant, I would recommend you to leave. I know your situation isn't as extreme, but cheating is cheating regardless. You are only 19, still young. It's not like you are in a marriage or have kids, which make it harder to let go. Hit like if you enjoyed this video. Consider subscribing to our channel.